I'm gonna tell you a story. I'm gonna tell you about my town. I'm gonna tell you a big fat story, baby. I'll tell about my town. Yeah, down by the river.
In terms of water quality in the region, it is a hot topic of discussion, which is a good thing. There's a lot more awareness about some of the issues impacting water quality.
If you visit American City, you will find it very pretty. Just two things of which you must beware. Don't drink the water and don't breathe the air. Pollution, pollution, we got smog and sewage and mud. Turn on your tap and get hot and cold running crud.
We have essentially three fairly vast reservoirs of pure drinking water below us. The uppermost aquifer, the one that's closest to the surface, is called the upper glacial layer. The middle layer is called the Magathi layer, and the deepest layer is called the Lloyd layer. Nitrogen is not the only contaminant we should be concerned about. When you see nitrogen levels up as high as they are in Suffolk County, where they're above the drinking water standard in some places like Elwood in the town of Huntington, then there's great concern that the other contaminant levels, pharmaceuticals, personal care products, VOCs, are also at dangerous levels. Traces of cocaine, anticoagulants, Benadryl, and a whole host of pharmaceuticals, a couple dozen different contaminants. The problem comes when we have too many homes clustered together on those systems, or in too close a proximity to the coast where the systems begins to sit either in groundwater or in elevated, in surface water where it's mixing with groundwater at the coastline. And then we start to have bacteria problems.
That's the goal. It's not that we have to demolish every house that's on the waterfront. It's how do we address the problem differently than using septic tanks? Because Suffolk County is setting a very low standard. The health department is setting a very low standard. So we need to establish an ethos and a culture of having a higher standard. It's a very simple notion. Wherever there's water, instead of trying to get it down below the ground as fast as possible, we have to slow its flow, spread it out as far as possible, and then have a healthy ecosystem to eat up all of the organic, stuff that's dangerous for us, and then soak it down into the aquifer or out into the waterways, and then it'll clean itself. We don't have to put in sewage treatment plants.
There's aspirin, adrenaline, and also aminophylline, amphetamine, adenosine, augmentin, and rifampicin, amoxicillin, penicillin, heparin, and warfarin, and estrogen, progestogen, and canesten, and chloroquine. There's bendraflumethiazide, and also cyclophosphamide, and metoclopramide, acetazolamide, tropicamide, loperamide, amiloride, and cyclozine, and fusamide. And if you're up the duff, then you had best avoid thalidomide. There's lithium, fluoxetine, and also amitriptyline, paroxetine, digoxin, GTN, and azathioprine, meconazole, atenolol, and also chloramphenicol. And if you want to overdose, there's always paracetamol.